While preparing for the Apollo moon landings, American physicist and astronomer Robert Russell Newton discovered that between the year 800 BC and 1000 AD, the moon mysteriously accelerated and then slowed down as it orbited the Earth. This lunar anomaly was dismissed as simply the result of some kind of extra-gravitational event. But for Robert Newton, this anomaly called into question the accuracy of every lunar eclipse ever recorded in our history.
When you look back at the historical record of the recording of the eclipses, this guy, Robert Newton, said the moon was behaving very strange in the past, and that's because he didn't think to change the calendar. He just assumed the calendar's right, so that must mean the moon was behaving differently. But instead, what Fomenko did is actually say, well, no, the calendar is man-made, so let's look at the calendar and try to straighten that out in accordance with the information about the eclipse.
When I did that, it turned out that the schedule was constant, a continuous line on the time axis. The slowing effect disappeared, vanished. Gone was the need to come up with mysterious forces in the Earth-Moon system.
But Robert Newton wasn't the first to discover this problem with the moon.
People like Isaac Newton went through ages of work to accommodate a lunar structure based on a historical stuff, and he was matching it against bogus history, so no wonder none of his math worked about the moon. And if he only knew the history was bogus, he would have just saved himself 28 years. A lot of people still are defending the old paradigm, and they don't want to upset the apple cart. And when you get into the critical thinking stuff, it really is staggering. So a movement began in the 70s in Russia that is called the critical thinking movement. And it is spreading throughout their entire society. And the teachers don't want to teach bogus stuff. They want to teach facts. And so they asked scientists, what is factual? So the scientists set out to find out what was factual. And one of the things they discovered was unfactual was the history that had been promulgated on all of us by the churches as the, quote, storehouse of knowledge through the, quote, Dark Ages. And none of that really existed. And it was created of whole cloth in the 1500s, which means that the Shroud of Turin can't be dated back to a supposed year 0 because there was never a year 33 where there was a Christ figure, and etc. It was all created in the Middle Ages. Anatoly's work involves things like astronomical alignment that proved that these documents could not have been referencing the time they claimed to, because there was never an astronomical alignment of that time there.
Fomenko states that 37 complete Egyptian horoscopes have unique, valid astronomical solutions with dates ranging from 1000 AD up to as late as the 1700s.
If you consider Fomenko to be correct, our whole civilization is a lie.